Well, it's a very exciting day for South Australia Police. We haven't recruited from overseas since 2012, and back in that period of time I think we recruited somewhere like 600, and we still have 300 of those officers working for the South Australia Police today. So this is a new era where we are able to bring qualified police officers from the UK, Scotland, Ireland, New Zealand, and also from interstate, put them through an abridged course which will see them out on patrols in 15 weeks. So it's a great opportunity for us to support the front line of South Australia Police with experienced police officers and hopefully offer them a fantastic place to live and work going forward.
What's the next 15 weeks going to look like? How intensive is it going to be? How many hours a day do they do?
Oh, well, it'll be condensed into about 8 hours a day, but we're not training these people to be police officers. We're transitioning them from their previous policing postings in other locations into South Australian police officers. So it's about legislation, the equipment we use, our procedures, our policies. So it will be an intensive 15 weeks, but we know they're up to the task, and we're looking forward to getting them through that and out on patrol.
And what is their, I guess, individually, what experience do they bring to the table?
Oh, there's a wealth of experience. So I think amongst the 15 new South Australian police officers that we've just sworn in, we have something like 123 years of active service. And the experience comes from right across the spectrum of policing, armed response, patrols, child protection, family violence, major crimes investigations. So there's generally a wealth of experience that we're able to tap into now, and it can only be good for South Australia. And we're looking forward to achieving our target of 200 international and interstate police officers becoming members of South Australia Police over the next few months.
Commissioner, how did it get to this point? Got such a shortfall?
It's not a unique situation. It's a challenge that every policing agency in Australia is facing. And when we compare ourselves to other jurisdictions, whilst we are struggling with recruiting and attrition, we're actually positioned and coping more successfully than a lot of our counterparts in interstate. And we're grateful for that, but it still means we have a recruiting challenge ahead of us. We saw a downfall in recruit applications in around about 2020, which saw us having to suspend 3 courses late in 2020 and early in 2021. And the reality is that when you are unable to maintain the recruiting program, it does create a significant challenge to catch up again. We're currently at about 163 positions short of our funded establishment, and we have a dedicated program to re-establish the numbers as quickly as possible.
So there's just been lack of interest from locals?
Recruiting, we've never had the issue of having people apply for SAFE, but we are now working really hard to encourage people to consider policing as a career and submit their applications. We've got dedicated marketing campaigns. We've got a highly skilled recruiting team that are working to provide people some insights as to the opportunities that exist within policing. But this is a unique situation that I don't think we've ever experienced in policing across the board, where we haven't had a line of people out of our recruiting office waiting to join police.
And people who are capable, obviously.
Well, that's the reality too. Like as much as people might put their applications in, it is a challenging job. It does come with certain requirements, and we need to make sure that we are offering recruit program spots to the right people, not just for South Australian Police in the South Australian community, but we don't want to cause any harm to people who might not have the background and mindset for policing.
And also the countries you mentioned, pretty much UK and New Zealand, is that because we've got similar policing ethos, background and so forth?
Same system of government, same justice systems, very similar, and the philosophies around how they provide a policing services are very much aligned to what we do in South Australia. We're also exploring opportunities to recruit Canadians from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police as well. That's a bit of work that's underway at this point in time, because once again, being a Commonwealth country, they have a very similar alignment to what we have here.
There were hundreds that expressed interest back in May when this was announced. How many more can we expect to swear in the coming months?
We have 2 courses starting in January. We're hopeful that those courses will be around about 25 people per course. This is the very first one, and the people we swore in today have made a tremendous effort to get through the visa application process and do all of those challenging things that are involved in relocating to a new home. So whilst we're only swearing in 15 today, this is the beginning of a significant program, and in January we'll see larger courses, and then there'll be another one in March as well.
I think we do have questions on other topics. Can we get to the recruits first?
Yeah,
Is that
let's
okay?
do that.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, perhaps.
Sorry.
Oliver, we'll just say your name, first and last name, how to spell it, please.
Oliver Lamb.
And Lamb without an E.
Yes, yeah, LAMB.
So tell us a bit about yourself, where you're coming from, what are you looking forward to?
So I'm coming from the southwest of the UK, down in County Dorset, just next to Devon and Cornwall. It's a nice bit of the world, but here is much, much nicer. And I have always wanted to do policing. I've been in Dorset for a few years, and before doing that, I travelled a little bit of Australia, and absolutely fell in love with the country, the people, the way of life and the lifestyle. And so when SAPOL opened their doors, I absolutely just application straight in, and it's been a fantastic move so far.
Was it just the weather, is it just the location that's enticed you here, or is there anything that stands out with SAPOL in particular?
I think for me, during the recruitment process, one thing that really stood out was that SAPOL were really personable. You could really reach out and you would get an answer pretty much overnight from the recruitment team. They were really engaging, and if you had any questions or anything you wanted to talk to them about, you could arrange for appointments or you could speak to them on the phone. And I think that for me, that level of one-to-one has really sort of made my decision concrete really here coming into SAPOL.
And what do you think you'll be bringing to South Australia? What are your personal skills?
Surfing. Although I've heard it's a little bit more shocking, but we'll see.
Oliver, can I grab your age, and did you come with a family or just by yourself?
I'm 32 and I've come on my own. So my younger brother and my parents are back in England.
Was that particularly hard to leave them?
It was tough. Luckily my parents are nearing retirement. I'm sure they won't mind me saying that. But I think they're very much also looking forward to coming out here. Certainly they're loving all the photos that I'm sending home, and they're very jealous.
Can I check too in Dorset, did you carry a gun on patrol?
No, so we just had a
Yeah.
taser, and that was as far as we got with that.
Okay, so that's obviously part of it.
Absolutely, yeah.
How about again, just your first and last name,
I
please?
say no Hollywood.
Thank you. And where are you coming from?
So I've come from Police Scotland. I have got 6 years experience response from Scotland. Prior to my 6 years on response, I was a special constable, which is a programme that they run in the UK, sort of voluntary. So I did that for 10 years before I made the move full-time into the police.
And what do you think is going to differ mainly between Scotland and here?
I think, the job in itself, there is going to be the similarities, of course, the job is the job. Obviously there will be the different cultures, etc. But yeah, it's the lifestyle, it's the people here, everyone's fabulous, the Australian people are wonderful. So yeah, the job in itself I think will be pretty much the same, if not better.
How did you first see the offer? How did the offer actually come? How did the offer actually come to you to move to South Australia?
So I am very fortunate. I've been coming out to Adelaide since I was a child. I had family and I still have lots of friends out here. So that's been something Adelaide has been on my radar since I was a child myself. My parents love it. They're here for the next 12 months with us. So yeah, just the experience of coming out here. I brought my own children out 2 years ago, my husband, and yeah, no brainer.
So you brought your husband, and how many kids have you got?
I've got 3 children. My
Sorry?
husband is on the course today also, so he's an experienced police officer.
He was one of the guys sworn in?
Yeah. So at that 2 years ago, myself, my husband, and our only son at that point came out to Australia on holiday. That was the first time that my husband had been here, so that was just a sort of taster for him to, it's all fine and well that I'm raving about how fabulous the place is. He has to come and see for himself. So that was the point of the trip 2 years ago. So here we are.
And in Scotland you don't carry a gun?
No, we don't. Taser's the same. Obviously here we'll be carrying firearms, but myself and my husband have gone off and gone to some shooting ranges and things just to get the initial experience before we start the course.
Yep. And can I check too? I may have misheard, but are there 2 or 3 people from Scotland? Is that for
Maybe 6 of us, is it maybe? Maybe 6.
6?
I think there's 6 of us that came out from Scotland.
Yeah. So we've got 10 from the UK,
Yep.
1 from New Zealand,
One from Queensland.
2 interstate, 1 from Queensland, and 1 I lost track of the numbers. We'll give you the numbers.
Do you have any major trepidation, or is it mainly excitement? What are your emotions heading into the next 15 weeks and then a career here in South Australia?
It's a bit nerve-wracking. Of course, it's been a long time since I've been in a classroom environment. So yeah, but very exciting. So far the transition's been, you know, what as Ollie said, the recruitment team, everyone have been fabulous. So first impressions have been great. So very excited to just get in and get out there and get on the road.
And while you were training overseas, did you hear of similar programs or airstrides like this, where international police from Australia would come over? Or
I think a lot in Scotland you would get a lot of people coming maybe from I think it was Canada. There was a lot of interest came from there, but like Australia, not at this point, not that I'm aware of.